Hello, everybody. We got some exciting new pages tonight. I got more Palace of the Golden Princess. Last week, Danny was being interviewed. What was that like?
It was fun. Not my first rodeo. I was talking about my graphic novel with a local music and culture magazine on Instagram.
So good.
So I was showing off Sleepwalkers, talked a little bit about House of Doom and The Myth Butcher, and showed off some pages from Cygnus Imperium and some other upcoming projects of mine.
There you go.
So
Sounds
that'll
good.
be up like probably a week or two before Halloween.
Spooky.
Nice.
Speaking of, by the way, we got John, who's going to be launching a campaign on Friday and running. It's going to be Halloween themed, right?
Yeah, it's zombies, so I
Yeah.
guess that's Halloween themed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so pitch is it's a few months, but it's 3 British Army officers go to the the British colony of Southern Rhodesia in the months leading up to World War II to gather some recruits for the African campaign, and the town is besieged by zombies.
So good.
So yes, I am going to be launching on Friday, October 1st, and it will run until midnight of Halloween night.
But before you back that, I'm launching Larry's campaign tomorrow for Primal Chaos, the Samuel Erebus Enhanced Codpiece Edition.
Melted codpiece.
There you go. Yeah, this guy's got a crazy codpiece. I'm not sure about, but all right.
Oh,
and there's a link in the description to go sign up or back Larry's book, depending on when you were listening to this. So we got that coming down. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what. All right. These two campaigns. This is gonna be interesting. They should be neck and neck here, kind of, because I got a bigger base, but this offering.
I got bigger boobs.
Yeah, you got way bigger.
He's
this
got
campaign
boobs,
has
like
no boobs at all, and I feel like I'm going to a race with no gasoline. I'm like, how am I doing this?
No, it is possible to make money on a project.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Sometimes
how do people do this?
Tell the story.
I'm gonna try.
STORY.
Yeah,
it's
story
the thing
about
that makes the boobs matter.
He's this angel,
but he doesn't have boobs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's an angel who comes down to Earth and is really pissed off, but sometimes
is he chesty
pissed on.
At least, Larry?
And
what?
Is he chesty at least, or is it?
Well, he's quite fit. Yes. Yeah.
Well, he's chesty. Yeah. There's a codpiece.
It will appeal to those who like the male form. That's not a bad market to target. There you go.
Okay. All right. So
I will share it with all my gay friends.
There you
go. Yeah. All your gay friends, go back. Samuel Erebus on Kickstarter. Primal Chaos #1 launching tomorrow. And yeah, like, see, they went. Kickstarter responds to such weird damn things. Like, I saw Buy Visibility was the name of the title. I mean, like, as far as I know, that's the name of the book, Buy Visibility. And Kickstarter's like, yes, front page, everybody. It has to be the most pandery, nonsensical, like, the politics is the title. What's the story? The politics, that's the story. Buy Visibility, we're bi and we're visible, as opposed to a story which just involves a bi character. Like White Lily, which no one gave a shit about. Nobody cared. Anyway, so here we are.
Hey,
but
that's a project we love for the Myth Butcher. That had a jungle walrus on the cover.
There you go.
I like White Lily for the 3 issues that I read out of the 5. But
you should ask your comic book store to get issues 2 and 3, because I think
can they
the
still
middle
get
of the story is a little important. I mean, you can certainly order them off eBay.
Okay. Well, I'll have to do that, because I'm pretty sure they said that the your other publisher ran out. So.
Really? Well, that's see. Anyway. You sold out, bastard.
Yeah.
I finally got my
There you
royalty
go.
check. Like, there we go. That was
it like 20 cents?
that was less, that was less than a sale at a convention. Thank you guys. You know.
Yeah.
I have definitely heard that is not so often the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I went into that.
Well, there was also that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There was also that publisher that apparently wasn't even publishing books they said they were going to publish.
There you go.
Uh-huh. Oh, was that alternate? No, I'm just kidding. It was like, yeah.
But I went into that deal with like the mindset of I want the book to be in comic book stores for no other reason than I want the book to be in comic book stores. I'm not going to worry about money or anything. So it was just like, whatever, just get it done, get it out there. There it is. All right, we have chromatic Beetlejuice algorithm. Yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
I wonder how that sewer level is going to be recolored this time.
Okay.
All
right, we got 1 through 8 here in terms of page count. Sounds good so far. Page 6, 4 panels. I guess I'll narrate. Panel 1, close
Oh my
up.
god, hold on. I think this is actually... Is this the same scene?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was not, like, I was so big and I did not know what was going to be in here. Let's do this. Page 6, panel 1, close up.
Oh, there we go.
The girl has a defeated expression on her face. Mitsuha, irritated, slaps a handcuff on the girl's right arm, while the other is already slapped on her own left arm.
Mitsuha, who wants to be... All right, backup's on the way. Don't make me put you in a body bag.
Do it. Whether it's you or them, I'm dead anyway.
The reveal makes Mitsuha scowl.
Do it.
Who'll kill you? The merry men from earlier?
Not them. The heads of the snowstorm gang.
The girl quickly shuffles in her pockets and begins to pull out her wallet.
Show me some ID.
She gives Mitsuha her ID. Mitsuha yanks it out of her hand.
Yoink. We wanted to Scooby-Doo.
Gotta love the yoink. Classic sound effects.
Page 7, panel 1. Mitsuha's point of view. With her thumb covering a bit of the portrait, the girl's ID is displayed in full.
Last name Ayanami, first name Fukubi, 19 years old. You definitely don't live in this part of town or in this town at all.
Dun, dun, dun.
Panel 2. Mitsuha lowers the ID and squints her eyes at a shifty-eyed
Oh, that panel sounds very racist.
Yeah. It does. You have a lot of
it. Everyone's all squinty-eyed for some reason. In the panel, I'm
You
sure...
better be quick then. Well, you better be quick then.
Because...
Panel 3. Fubuki whips her head towards audible gunshots. Mitsuha stares at a sewer grate. Gra-ta-ta.
In a few minutes, they'll be all over.
Not if we get out of here first.
Panel 4. Mitsuha, a smirk on her face, lifts the sewer grate. Fubuki cringes in disgust at the thought of entering the sewer.
Oh, you can't be serious.
Ladies first. Very gender binary.
Wait, I thought Mitsuha was also a lady.
Oh, I don't.
Because that's a female name. That the person is conversation
it could be sarcasm.
Could be.
Could be.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Page 8, panel 1. Interior Grizzly Sewers. That's a good name. Nice. Mitsuha is stomping through the ghastly mud and grass-colored sewer water. Fubuki is slowly sloshing behind her, too grossed out to keep up. There are bits of trash in the water, as well as pipes on the ceiling above. Drip, drip, drip.
Got out just in time. Good thing the grate was right there.
Ew, 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 something's in my jacket.
Panel 2. Fubuki steps into a deeper part of the sewer, catching her by surprise. Her left arm springing into the air as she begins to panic. Slosh.
Now, how did you get your hands on all of this?
Panel 3. Mitsuha, annoyed, turns around and pulls Fubuki up to stable footing by her handcuffed arm.
Answer me, or I'll shove you back deeper. How did you get all of that in your jacket?
Panel 4. Mitsuha drags Fubuki by their handcuff bond, mirroring an annoyed mother dragging her little brat.
It guarantees I'll have something to eat the same day I work.
And dealing was the best choice?
If you haven't noticed, no one's exactly hiring nowadays.
Panel 5.
Oh, political commentary. No.
Their boots are running in the sewer water. Squelch.
You think they went this way?
Yeah, if you're quiet, you can hear them.
Page 9, Panel 1. Mitsuha, hearing the menaces, begins to run with the lagging Fubuki.
So how did you get that green juice? Tell me and keep up.
All I was told was that it was used to help some people focus. I was given a small shipment yesterday morning, that's all.
Plish, splash, plish. Panel 2. They run across a few rows of pipes.
Who's in the snowstorm? Who in the snowstorm gang is your supplier?
Like I'd tell you.
Shoot before she squeals. Clank, ka-clank, splish.
Oh god, not from behind.
From
Panel
behind.
3, from behind. Sounds like from beyond. And now
Yeah.
better property.
That's sort of what it sounds like, yeah.
The two men come into view. They're wearing dark blue bomber jackets. On the jackets, there is a large patch that is Tally of number 5, stylistically made of icicles. The two men shoot at the duo. The duo, in the background, begin to run off panel with Mitsuha shooting 3 shots. Bang, 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 bang. Shaboom, shaboom, shaboom.
I'm gathering these panels have a lot of
That's
explosions.
the way it should be. Panel 4. Mitsuha shoots 4 bullets at the snowstorm men. One gets hit in the left rib twice running towards them, falling dead and dropping his gun. The other one standing keeps firing, walking towards them. Bang, 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 shaboom, shaboom, shaboom.
Page 10.
Page 10, panel 1. Fubuki gets hit in her left backside and slumps against a wall. The remaining man falls as he gets shot in the head.
Girk, I'm hit.
God damn it!
Panel 2. Mitsuha looks at Fubuki on her hands and knees. A small patch of blood begins to form around the bullet hole.
Tell me who gave you drugs, and give me the vial you have.
You crazy bitch, I'm dying and all you can think of is...
Panel 3. Whining, Mitsuha pins Fubuki with her back to the wall by pushing her hard between her sternum, making sure she slams against the wall. Fubuki has her eyes wide.
I feel like the easy way to write that would be Mitsuha slams Fubuki into the wall by pushing on her sternum.
Well,
There you
it
go.
would. That's not what's on the page.
Yeah, I know. All right. So yeah.
Just yeah.
Speaking of which, did you notice that Fubuki has her eyes wide in terror on her face?
I did.
Yeah.
While Mitsuha has either gritted teeth or is full-blown yelling.
Sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but that is kind of funny. Yeah.
My friend is barely alive thanks to your snowblow suppliers. My teammates are fighting off another user this fucking second.
Ouch.
If you don't give me what I'm asking, the whole country is gonna be a berserker-filled, free-for-all war zone.
That's a stake.
Yeah.
Panel 4.
Berserker
Fubuki
film.
looks
Free for
over
all
at
war
the
zone.
3 down men, thinking the deal over.
And if that happens, I'll make sure you get forgotten in the body count.
There you go.
Oh, raise those stakes.
Holy crap! She's there.
All
She's
right.
gone full bitch cop.
So I feel like I was feeling very strong Michael Bay on these pages.
That's okay.
There was a
I'm
lot
okay
of
with that.
exploding. There were guns.
The babes, booms, and the butts, right?
Yeah,
We got the bullet in the butt too. So
yeah, she got hit in the backside.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got it all. I want to say the writing has definitely gotten better. It's the stuff was happening.
Yeah.
People were discussing things relevant to the plot that involved going somewhere and getting in more fights. And hooray!
Yeah. Yeah, I remember last time we read this, we told him to kind of like decide whether he wanted her to be bitch cop or concerned cop, and she was switching between them. Exactly. Yeah. He was switching between them in the last script, and he's definitely changed that. She's definitely bitch cop now, which is great.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. Nothing like.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable with that. So at least it's clear direction. Michael Bay or not, I mean, I was editing something last month that was like aspiring to be at the Star Wars prequels level. So I'll take Michael Bay over that any day.
Yeah. Right on.
The Star Wars prequels.
Hey now.
Too much conversations about Senate and trade negotiations.
It's all good.
I really loved the part where apparently the sand just got everywhere. In versions, but anyways, so
let's go into the bathroom.
Got that. There's a really, really strong direction for the interaction between Fubuki and Mitsuha. There are stakes after someone gets shot, and then we still raise the stakes, which is great. I don't know if we're supposed to care about Fubuki.
Obviously not anymore.
She's not dead yet.
Yeah, that's
true. She might be a protagonist, and I'm cool with that based on this, because if you don't do this, you will die is a good high-pressure situation for her to be in, and I look forward to her attempts to escape in the future.
There we go. All right, John.
Yeah, it's definitely improved since you've decided to pick a lane. That I think we're all in agreement to. So yeah, I mean, it just helps the pacing and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
all right. All right, constructives. I mean, outside of being Michael Bay-esque, I mean, that's both a positive and a negative. But whatever. As long as it's heading in the right direction, I guess I'm saying it's fine. Anyone? Yeah.
Well, okay. There was the line about ladies first, which confused us a little bit. So maybe put like sarcastically says something like that, so that the artist has a little bit of direction of her facial expressions. Other than that, because then we might think that she has a penis, and that's a whole different type of comic, and I don't know if he wants to go in that direction or not, but there is a big fan base for that, so just saying. You pick a direction there too, so
yeah.
The
two panel sequence where what's her name falls in the sludge doesn't work the way it's written. Just have them keep walking. You want a break between the action scenes, and the last scene was intense and silly, and presumably the next scene is intense and tense.
Well, we're hoping,
at least I'm sure the art could work, but based on the direction, I'm not seeing how. And it takes time away from what could be the major moment of exposition in this issue.
Based on what I've seen from the art direction, Venus, exactly. Based on what I've seen from the art direction, he's going for kind of less than serious sort of anime look to it. So maybe it's supposed to, maybe it's supposed to be really over the top, and that's fine. But just need a little bit more clarity there. So
So
you're right.
I'm just not imagining a version of the scene where that moment works. But I mean, if that's the only thing wrong with the scene,
that's
a pretty good scene.
Yeah, it's definitely better. Yeah.
Like, I would actually recommend just writing the next scene.
Yeah. See what happens.
Right.
Because I would love to read the next scene and not joke about the sewer level anymore.
What color is the water?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's green. It's blue. It's in between. Anyway.
Any other constructives?
If I could add one thing, just kind of in the same vein, and that is just the tonality, and being tonally consistent. In that, if you're going for more of a lighter, fun story, to have your main character all of a sudden go, super serious bitch cop, doesn't exactly work. At least from an audience's perspective, we're not going to. It's either going to come out of nowhere, or we're not going to believe that she'll actually do it. So to the reader, we're not going to have any. We're not going to feel the same dread that the character does. I think it's more. If you're going to have a character threaten to. If you're going to have your hero character threaten to kill somebody, that needs to be consistent with their character, and otherwise the audience isn't going to feel it. And I think even though, yes, in context of the story, the other character doesn't know that the main character doesn't mean it, but I think you'll lose some of the emphasis that you're going to have in the story by doing that. Like in the Shield, if Vic Mackey threatens to kill a suspect on the street, we actually believe he's capable of. Well, we've seen him do it. We believe he's capable of it. So, to the audience, that increases that kind of tension. But if you're doing, now I'm trying to think of the opposite of Vic Mackey. But if you're doing the opposite of that, I don't think if you're doing a Captain America threatens to kill somebody, nobody's going to believe it. So that's kind of where I think you might want to just look into that and how you want to do it to be tonally consistent. I mean,
Yeah. It was. I had a meeting for some people who want to make a comic book at Dallas Fan Expo, and they took me to their interactive art museum down in downtown Dallas, and it was really cool. I loved it. We talked for about how to make a comic for 3 hours, and they showed me around their little thing. It was neat. But they were embracing this unicorn thing, and one of the pair of creators was confessed to being very obsessed with duality, and he was like, if I just wish there, I want to do something that's like the opposite of the unicorn, so we can have the good and evil. I just wish there was an opposite of a unicorn. I said, a kelpie. And he's like, what's a kelpie? I said, it's the opposite of a unicorn. Check it out. So, Google it. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Let's see, kelpie. There you go. No problem. So, all right, we have The Dirt in Our Home, #1 by Larry Holder. Larry, tell us about this.
It's a bizarre idea I came up with a long time ago.
Okay. Cover title page. This is very important.
Yeah, very important information.
Right.
So it essentially revolves around these living organisms that live in a dirty house. Anyway. Yeah. These strange living organisms that live in the
organism story. I was
yeah.
for a minute.
That live in an environment inside this dirty home, and yeah, it's like a microscopic world. So yeah, that's where we're starting.
You're almost as prolific in your writing as I am.
Oh, I know. Aren't I great? Yeah.
All right, who's narrating?
Well, I can narrate. Yeah. John is narrating? Okay, sure. John's narrating.
All right, John. Take it away.
All right, page 1, panel 1. Wide shot, a seemingly ordinary-looking home, 1970s stylings, with a large bay window to the right side of the room. Light beams peek in from the center crack of heavy curtains onto the center bright orange shag carpet on the floor. Panel 2, close up. Eye level with the carpet. The center of the light beam hits the top of the thick strands of rug.
What's that phrase again? Life finds a path? Something like that.
Panel 3, zooming into the carpet, a lone tip of French fry sits in the strands of the shag. The light gently touches its upper tip. Panel 4, zooming closer on the French fry, it begins to vibrate. Page 2, splash page. Our hero, Miyasawa. Misawa?
Missio.
Missio.
Yeah.
Missio. Gotta pick those strange Canadian names, don't you?
No, I have no idea where I came up with that name from. So.
I think that's a alt rocker.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Missio. Anyway.
Missio bursts forward toward the viewer from the fry, a large smile on his toothy grin, his eyes closed in exuberation. He appears to have a potato-like body with 3 green spikes running down his back, 2 large expressive eyes, and a row of semi-sharp teeth in his wide mouth.
World, here I come.
Page 3, panel 1, wide shot. The CAO flight out from the fry is caught short as he appears to stop in midair, his eyes opening wide in shock.
Uh-oh.
Panel 2, same view as the last panel. There is a speed line dropping straight down from Misao's last position and a cloud of dust pummeling up from the unseen ground below.
Pluming up. Yeah. Anyway.
Food.
Panel 3, wide shot from above. Misao appears flattened like a pancake against the base of the rug. Panel 4, Misao's body bounces back into shape. Stars circle his head.
It appears I can't jump too far.
Page 4, panel 1. Wide shot. Misao looks around in wonderment at the forest of bright orange shag carpet around him as the light peeks down from above.
What a beautiful world to be born into.
Panel 2, close up of Misao's face as he looks downward in deep thought.
But where is this world? Why am I here?
Oh, asking the tough questions, are we, Larry?
Yes.
Panel 3, close up on Misao's face as he starts to look depressed.
10 seconds old and I'm already having an existential crisis. Not that I actually know what any of this means. Or do I?
Larry, were you smoking any cannabis when you were writing this?
Surprisingly not.
You definitely read that line off. Larry, how much cannabis were you smoking?
Oh, God.
Panel 4, close up. Misao looks behind him quickly to the left as a voice answers him from above the forest of the carpet.
You sure have a lot of questions there, stranger.
Who's there?
Page 5, panel 1, close up on the shag forest behind Misao. Clot, a ball of hair, fabric, and other fibers with large eyes and a triangular-shaped anime happy face emerges into view.
Name's Clot, mister. You sure seem like you got lots of questions on your mind.
Panel 2, wide shot. Misao, now facing Clot, turns to address him.
Name is Misao. Yes, my boy, I do indeed have questions.
Aren't you like 30 seconds old? Shouldn't I be calling you boy?
You see, my boy, you are smaller, therefore younger to me.
I don't think that's how that works.
Nonetheless, lad, do you know where I may answer these questions I have?
Panel 2, close up. Clot thinks, rolling his eyes upward.
Well, I can tell you where you are. This is the Great Shag Forest.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Panel 3, wide shot from above, a view of the Great Shag Forest spreading out over the horizon into infinity. Clot continues his information dump.
This place is home to many of the gentlefolk. Food is plentiful, like that fry you have out of...
You fell out of.
No, you fell out of.
Yeah.
We have no want or worry in the grace of the great gods.
Page 6, panel 1.
Do you ever like think, man, like about like that? We'd be like gods to them, man. In our eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Close up on Maseo as he cuts off Clot.
Gods, you say? They would have answers for sure.
Panel 2. Close up on Clot as he retorts snarkily.
One does not simply ask the gods questions. You talk to a shaman, and they talk to the gods for you.
Who's that? At? Panel 3. Wide shot. Both characters. You.
I'm almost sure Larry was smoking something. Maybe Horn took him.
No, I was just really tired when I wrote this last
Okay,
night, so it worked. Oh, yeah.
Two characters continue their discussion.
My mission here is clear, then.
That is what exactly?
You must take me to the nearest shaman, lad.
Fine, stop calling me lad and boy, though. I'm 28 years old.
Semantic, my lad. Now off we go.
Panel 4, close up on Clot. He rolls his eyes, annoyed as Maseo walks by him to the left.
Whatever weird dude, he's in the other direction too, by the way.
Page 7, panel 1. Wide shot from above, looking down on the two creatures moving along a path in the shag forest. They talk back and forth. Weird, one-eyed dust creatures float around in the forest around them.
You know, it's pretty weird that you came out of there, out of that fry, knowing the language of the gods and your name.
Are you saying that's not normal?
No, it's not normal at all. Are you sure you didn't hitch a ride down here from the upper world?
No, my boy. I'm quite certain you witnessed my birth.
Dude, this whole thing is just about the weirdest day of my life. And stop it with the boy thing.
Panel 2, wide shot. The two creatures stand above an anonymous archway made from a wishbone. The carpet, forest, black, and channel on the other side.
Jarred, yeah.
Dard.
Well, this is it. Good luck. I'm staying here. The shaman freaks me out.
Surely he can't be that bad, my lad. Fear not. I shall return with answers.
Panel 3, wide shot. Maseo moves through the archway into the blackened area of shag forest. He looks slightly concerned at his surroundings. Panel 4, wide shot. Maseo, a lot of wide shots.
I know.
Wide shot.
Like wide
Maseo
shots.
walks
It's
on
his
a path.
script. He can be wide. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, she said.
Yeah.
Wide shot. Maseo walks upon a path toward a teepee made of matchsticks. A cloud of black smoke. I bet he changed that spelling for you.
Actually, I just wrote it last night, so, you know.
A cloud of black smoke hangs. Oh, I thought you wrote this when you were like 12 or something.
No, I wrote the original version of it when I was, like, in college, but anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
A cloud of black smoke hangs over the area. Page 8, splash page. Wide shot again. The smoke clears as the base of the teepee. The shaman, Sig, a cigarette butt with an old and grizzled face, sits up on his filter side, still lit and smoking at the top of his body. He grins widely at Maseo in the foreground.
Welcome, traveler. Please sit. Yeah, that's about as far as
Alright.
I got. Yeah.
Okay, so far this is Clot's really strange day.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you've introduced a world.
Mhm.
Things happened in it.
Mhm.
Mostly it was Maceo's birth as a fully formed individual,
Yes.
asking the essential questions of life,
Mm-hmm.
and then naively wandering into what is possible danger.
Possible danger. Yes.
So, okay, I mean, the story has potential.
Okay.
All right, John.
So, what flavor were the brownies, and where can I get some?
I swear to God, I was under the influence of anything
Don,
other than
jealousy will
coffee,
get you
but you know,
anywhere.
yeah. But I do remember being high a long time ago, and I wrote it in that mindset. So,
Once upon
yeah.
a time, when
Yeah.
Larry was high,
Yep.
He wrote this bullshit,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's extremely charming so far, but also crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's very crazy.
Not that crazy yet.
No, but it will be.
I mean, are you gonna go full sausage party on this one?
No.
Good.
What
That's
was
good.
wrong with Sausage Party?
Have you seen it?
Well,
It's
the
fucking terrible.
ending, yeah, but
Yeah, it was all right. I mean,
It was
I thought
funny,
it was
but-
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
It had like 2 gags, and they were in the
Yeah.
trailer. It was a very unfunny comedy.
All right.
Okay.
it has potential.
I'll write somewhere.
Danny.
The what's his name? Maceo's
Mhm.
like the gag of him calling Claude boy did not really land. The general adventurous Dudley Do Right attitude totally did. The existential stuff was a bit wishy-washy. So, like, either he's very seriously looking for answers about the nature of his existence, he's being a naive adventurer, or he's just joking with the first other creature he meets in his entire life. I feel like a character introduction would be better were you to pick a lane. But I mean, you know, judgment is pending for the actual story.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. You know, look, there's nothing there for me to emotionally bond to.
Yeah.
So until that comes, I don't think you have anything. But you have the potential to maybe put it there. Speaking of things that I can emotionally bond to, check out what just came into my inbox.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What do you think, Danny?
It looks like a perfectly good intro splash page with lots of room for credits.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, like, yay, it's great. Woo, go Preston.
There we go. Awesome. So, all right. No notes on that one. I'm saying that one's good. But that should get us in the mood because next script, we got some more Palace. So here we are, Palace issue 2, and all right. Here, before we get started, I'm curious. John and Larry. So
Mhm.
do you think Danny's gonna dig the pages from last week? Because we're gonna go over those as well.
No.
No. All right, Danny. We think you might not like this, but we'll
Cool.
see.
I'm looking forward to it already. So just where were we in the story?
Issue
Since
2.
I wasn't there last week.
Yeah.
As
Here.
far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
the summoner
Yeah.
did a bunch of drugs.
I'll
he
tell you
knows
what.
he's evil.
Let's just. We're gonna pick it up from page 8. All right.
Okay.
Summoner
We're gonna go
did do a
page-
bunch of
We're gonna
drugs.
go page 8 through
Summoner
20.
did a bunch of drugs, meets
Yeah.
an evil demon goddess, and
Right.
then our heroes show up.
Yeah.
What's his name is suddenly funny and useful. They try to give Gretchen to the summoner.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole situation becomes a hot mess.
Yes.
There is some sort of accidental violence.
hmm
And now the summoner has to heal either Gretchen or Thora.
No, wait. We're
no.
gonna redo that right here. So page 8. This is where we're picking up. I'll go ahead.
Oh, right. The horse sort of becomes a person and
Yes.
trying to wreck shit with tentacles.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay,
The
cool.
horse.
All right. Page 8, panel 1. Back. Or no. Wait. You know what? John, you read. There.
Page 8, panel 1. Background. Praying that his sword can somehow keep the danger at bay, Edmund backs away from the monstrous Kolganol. Foreground. Hurt, mountain helpless, Gretchen beseeches Archimedes to intervene as he backs into his teepee.
Please, Summoner. Dark magic
Okay.
has affected her mind. You must free her.
That was not part of our bargain.
Panel 2. The summoner throws a jar of magic powder towards Thora. His magic forces it into a jet of toxic dust, which blasts the stunned Thora in the face as she falls back and away from Gretchen, who looks on in horror.
But I shall stand a faithful ally to the queendom of Luvia.
Panel 3. Thora falls to her knees in shock and arrest as a concerned Gretchen looks on in concern. She's doubly concerned.
She is.
Please untie me that I might tend to her.
Oh, you're right. She is, though. I gotta fix that. Thank you. Although it's an art direction.
Yeah.
Panel 4. Archimedes stands behind and unties Gretchen.
The Mexicans are coming.
I have to add some Mexicans into my story.
Yeah.
Archimedes stands behind and unties Gretchen as Thora curls into the fetal position, her face frozen in terror.
Thora, what did you do to her?
You demanded that I intervene? Now her life is an issue? Fine. But this too shall increase Queen Arca's indebtedness to me.
Panel 5. The panic continues as Gretchen looks toward the distant Edmund, who screams in panic as Kolgadal lifts him up off of the ground by one of his many horse tentacles.
Ah, save me, Gretchen. I always believed in you.
Page 9, Panel 1. Gretchen springs into action. She picks up Thora's sword from the ground as Archimedes drags Thora towards the entrance to his teepee.
For Queen Arica!
Panel 2. Gretchen flies toward Kolgadal, who turns to confront her, leaving Edmund to dangle by a tentacle behind him.
Avenger of women!
Panel 3. Inside the teepee, Archimedes lays Thora in the middle of the summoning circle previously shown.
Save me, Gretchen.
Roar! Smash the patriarchy!
Panel 4. Archimedes kneels and invokes his matron.
Aya, Reshkadal, goddess of the underworld.
Oops.
Panel 5. Thora sits bolt upright in horror as dimensional rift to hell opens around her.
Hail, the mistress of oblivion.
Page 10. Panel 1. Gretchen's sword strikes, cleaves twain, the horse tentacle holding Edmund aloft as Kolgadal screams in pain.
Governess Ho!
Gah!
Panel 2. Gretchen cleaves another tentacle, but a third wraps around her arm.
For the cause! When did she say I have the power?
Panel 3. Kolgadal grins as his strong, dark horse fairy arms clasp around Gretchen to force her face to face with him.
Die, meddlesome bitch.
Panel 4. Surprised Gretchen watches Kolgadal's face freeze in shock.
Arr!
That was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
I may have to add that to the script.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Panel 5. Edmund drives Kolgadal to the ground using the leverage of his sword through Kolgadal's back.
Good work, little Gretchen. I never doubted you for a minute.
Page 11, Panel 1. Edmund thrusts his sword into the body of Kolgadal to ensure the death of his opponent as Gretchen, still holding Thora's sword, runs back towards the teepee.
Well, Summoner, the horse you bargained for is a bit unruly and had to be put down. Or got a bit unruly and had to be put down.
Thora, are you alright?
Panel 2. Inside the teepee, Archimedes maintains his trance as he kneels before his summoning circle, where Thora, still frozen in place from page 9, sits in the middle.
What has become of Thora?
Panel 3. With her offhand, Gretchen pulls back the leather flap, which serves as the door to the teepee. As she continues brandishing the sword in her right, Edmund approaches to caution her.
Hold. We have no right to disturb the Summoner.
Thora's in there.
She betrayed us with her oath. She betrayed us and her oath in service to that dark fairy. Meanwhile, we are still under orders from Queen Erica.
He affected her mind somehow.
Panel-
Yes, this is mine. Yes.
Yeah.
Panel 4.
Tis.
Edmund and Gretchen argue before the entrance to the teepee.
And how do you know that?
Because I've served with her squire for 4 years now, and I'm going to go no more loyal knight to the queendom.
More loyal than the one standing before you, the one who saved your life, the one, even now, who seeks to do the queen's bidding.
I still serve her as my squire, or so I still serve as her squire, and I will do everything within my power to protect her.
Panel 5. Gretchen pulls back to the entrance to the teepee as Edmund draws his sword.
Anna.
Am I Edmund? Oh, sorry. I'm
No,
going.
you're Gretchen.
Right.
Yeah.
That was Gretchen. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going in.
So, Wang, come to heel or I shall strike you down.
Page 12, panel 1. Edmund and Gretchen stand in opposition before the entrance. They
Johnny there? Hello?
Dijon? He's
John.
gone.
Oh,
Oh, darn.
Robot.
Oh, he's all right.
there's
Oh.
he's maybe
All
back.
right.
Florida
Hello?
rebooting. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just go read this part. Edmund
Okay.
and Gretchen stand in opposition before the entrance, their swords held in defensive posture as Archimedes emerges from the teepee. I'll go ahead and read. Your companion
Wait.
was indeed under the sway of dark, but I believe I have been able to restore her to proper mindfulness. No need for further violence.
panel 2. Edmund smiles
Oh, there we go.
broadly as he sheathes his sword. Not having a sheath, a relieved Gretchen lowers hers. Archimedes stands at the entrance and continues to calm them.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
I have no idea what that
I have no idea what that means.
Well, women fall prey to all sorts of ridiculous influences, do they not?
I would be relieved to return to my solitude.
So what remains of our bargain?
The fairy's corpse shall prove of great value to me, but I will be seeking additional compensation once you have been able to restore order.
Panel 3. Archimedes presents Thora holding a vial of glowing angel's blood to Edmund and Gretchen.
Meanwhile, I return your companion to you unharmed, in the hopes that you three can shepherd the angel's blood back to Alluvia in safety. Who wants to be Thora?
It
I've
shall
always
be
thought
as
about
you
it.
say, Archimedes.
There we go. We have our Thora.
Archimedes.
Panel 4. Thora looks to Archimedes in admiration. Our minds touched briefly as he purged the influence of the Kelpie. I shall remain forever in your debt, great one, as shall all of Alluvia.
Ah.
Your arrival here was foretold. Now I bid you gone. Return to your civilization as heroes. As one final gesture of good faith, I shall leave you with this adage.
Panel 5. Thora and Gretchen ride on one horse in front of Edmund, who rides his own as they follow the trail back out of the woods.
Blood defines both glory and greatness.
Page 13. Panel 1. Having just rode straight back to the castle, the exhausted trio of Gretchen, Thora, and Edmund stand in triumph before Queen Erica, who judges all before her from the authority of her throne. The vial of angel's blood being presented by Edmund captures all of Samantha's attention. She sits captivated at Erica's right.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Be that the vial, give it to me.
Panel 2. Edmund bows in insincere humility before the Samantha as he presents her the object of her obsession.
As you wish, High Priestess.
All thanks be to Viviax, and the rulership of her chosen, Queen Arica the Cunning.
Panel 3. Remaining on her throne, Erica coldly judges the enthusiasm of each of the trio as they hail her standing side by side at a respectful distance. Samantha magically studies the vial. Gretchen righteously proclaims victory. Edmund seems to bask in the glory of the moment, while Thora's placid face betrays no emotion.
Hail, Queen Erica.
Hail, Queen Erica the Cunning.
I see some of my knights must be exhausted, for I can think of no other reason for Thor's recalcitrance.
Panel 4. Erica glares at Thora as she curtsies. Edmund and Gretchen stare blankly, unsure of the turn of events. Apologies, Your Highness. The trip was exhausting. You are, of course, Queen Erica, the ever so cunning.
Is that so? In what way am I cunning?
Panel 5. Edmund and Gretchen stand back as Thora continues her challenge. Cunning like a practiced whore, Your Grace. You bet an ambitious noble and betrayed him to become our eternally young queen. Page 14, panel 1. Erica locks eyes with the defiant Thora as Samantha attempts to moderate.
Let us not judge her too harshly, Your Highness. Angel's blood can overcome unwary minds who happen to be nearby. I suggest we forgive her outburst and begin the ritual to restore magic to the governess army.
Panel 2. Gretchen steps forward to save Thora's Bacon, who remains defiant.
Indeed, my queen, we rode all through the night without break for the past 3 days. Her mind was tampered with by dark fairy magic. And she is totally not possessed by an evil demon right now. Before she becomes her old self again.
Yeah.
Panel 3. Edmund attempts to talk sense into these bitches.
What, did I fucking call it? I fucking called it, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Really
be honest here. We're all quite weak from the rigors of the journey. However, Thora's mind was taken from her. She may be mad or an agent of a power sinister to our interests.
Panel 4. Gretchen stands before Thora and expresses her righteousness.
Might be best to keep her confined to the dungeon until we can determine whether or not she will be her old self.
Nonsense. He is fine.
Is there supposed to... Oh, panel 5. At last, Queen Erica grants the court a smile.
Oh.
As a demonstration of my grace, I shall grant mercy. I fear not what may happen, as long as you are at my side, Edmund.
Oh, so he's the whore.
Yes. He is the whore.
Page 15, panel 1. Foreground. With a look of mischief, Erica leads the triumphant Edmund off panel. Background.
Oh, yeah.
Gretchen tries to pry Thora's annoyed glare off the queen as Samantha reverently takes the angel's blood in the direction of her chapel.
So let's get you back to my bedchamber so you can rest and protect me if the need arises.
Panel 2. Standing behind the seated Thora in her simple room, Gretchen unfastens the buckles holding her governess armor in place.
Let's get you some rest, my liege. We have a big day ahead of us. There is much to do once your magic is restored.
Am I Thor? Okay. Of that, I am certain.
That's right. I was supposed to be Thor. I forgot.
Okay.
Panel 3. Removing the governess armor to reveal Thor's open neck tunic. Gretchen continues.
What happened with the queen earlier?
John.
Oh, I thought you were taking it over. I don't know. Everything just seems hazy right now. Panel 4. Gretchen tucks Thora into bed and reads her a bedtime story and kisses her on the forehead.
Of course.
Sure,
Poor
yeah.
thing. You must be exhausted. We'll talk on this once you've had some rest. Sweet dreams.
That's totally what happened. Yeah.
That's
Age
exactly how it happened.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly wasn't.
Well, no, Gretchen is going to go to her bedroom, and then she's going to fantasize about all the things she wants to do with Thora. Page 16, panel
I
1.
was gonna go murder everybody.
Oh, wait, I forgot. This isn't my script. Page
is not your
16,
script.
panel 1. Both dressed in infernal vestments. Samantha chants at the altar of Viviax, while Rachel holds a soon-to-be sacrificed infant in her arms,
Rachel.
swaddled in a white garb and bound with a belt, bearing Viviax's demonic symbol. Both Rachel and the altar were the last seen at the start of issue 1.
We beg forgiveness from great Viviax. demon lord of lust and control. We are lost without your profane guidance. We beseech thee, O Great One, to return the magic that instills fear in the hearts of men, lest they rape us into submission to shameful patriarchy.
Oh
Demon
my
lady.
god.
Question.
What?
Demon lady.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
demon lady. Okay, there we go.
No, that's cool. I like the male,
Yeah, I was
pronoun.
thinking
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
demon lord. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I
Or
could see
Yeah.
demon lady. I could, I demon
Demon
lady. I could see
mistress?
that too.
No.
Yeah,
She's
demon
taking
lady.
the male.
I'm
She's taking the male
pretty
pronoun.
sure the word mistress is already used way too much. At
Yeah,
this
way
stage.
too
It
much.
is, it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
it is.
Actually,
really
yeah, you did
I'm
use
intentionally
that.
trying to avoid mistress because it's so generic at this point.
Panel 2, Emma, an
Hmm.
early 20s lady in waiting, tightens the strings on Erica's shiny red corset
Damn the
dress,
patriarchy. All that nonsense.
Every time. Yeah.
which serves to accentuate the queen's ample bosom.
Oh yeah.
Photo reference here, except I want the corset to have floor-length dress that bells outwards. All right, at that link there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
And again, inhale. Good.
Neff.
Well done, Your Highness. Powdered wig. Indeed.
Uh-huh.
Panel 3, Erica sits at a low pedestal, holding a paper fan to her face to protect her from the red dust sprayed into her.
Susie Sue. I decided we'd go Susie wig.
Nice.
Susie Sue wig by Emma, who also placed a white drape over Erica's shoulders.
Piff, piff, piff.
Panel 4, clad in scarlet from wig to full-length dress, Erica stands before a full-length 3-panel mirror, judging her reflection as Emma stands by, hoping she finds none. Her eye makeup now bears the mark of Horus around both eyes.
Uh-huh.
I have done my utmost to ensure that Your Highness is pleased. You have done well, Emma. I look ravishing. You should not fear being beheaded as Sabrina was. I stand ready to meet my goddess.
Press and scroll up for a second.
Okay.
You may not care, but in links like that, you don't
Yeah.
usually need anything after the pound sign or a question mark if it comes up in the link.
Okay.
Usually that's just tracking data that's
yeah,
in the
you're right.
URL.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Page 17, panel 1, measuring 10 meters across. The symbol of Viviax has been drawn in blood on the floor. Queen Arica stands holding a parchment with Samantha, who holds the angel's blood, on a dais at the midpoint of the symbol. Around them, Rachel and other ladies of the court, wearing corsets and leather harnesses, hold hands and chant to their demonic savior. Hanging from the ceiling, a fist-sized ruby glows in demonic power.
This is definitely a Preston script. So.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, powdered wig to hide venereal diseases among the social elites.
It's
These
true.
fellas that is true. They had
Yeah.
So
I'll
Samantha.
do
Samantha.
In
No,
her
I'm-
great wisdom,
Yeah.
Viviax, our goddess of eternal defilement, has accepted our ritual of supplication. Do you stand ready to renew your contract?
I do.
Page 2, panel 2. Samantha dips a brush into the vial of glowing liquid as she studies Arica's face.
Then you shall wear the mask of truth upon your face as you dedicate yourself to your eternal torment at the hands of our goddess.
I am grateful for all that you have done, High Priestess.
Panel 3, series of panels. Samantha's POV, she brushes the iridescent blood onto the gaps in the eyes of Horus around Arica's left eye.
As Queen, I accept full responsibility for the breaking of the last enchantment. I pledge to find those responsible and send them to hell for eternal torment.
Panel 4, series of panels. Samantha's POV, she brushes more glowing liquid in a fierce upward stroke from Arica's left eye toward her hairline.
As head of state and ultimate authority, I shall remain wanton, unchaste, and indecent. For you have shown me that my subjects live vicariously through me and experience my pleasure as their own.
Panel 5, series of panels. Samantha's POV, she brushes more glowing blood onto the gaps in the eye of Horus around Arica's right eye.
I shall teach the women of our queendom that men's only purpose should be the further the wishes of the women who control them.
So it'll be just like every other day.
Just like every other day, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Panel 6. Series of panels. Samantha's POV. She completes the mask of truth by brushing it in an upward stroke from Erica's right eye.
She is looking like a horse.
That was a good pun.
Yeah. And that is the only trauma, and that is only through trial, trauma, and humiliation that we are to learn our proper place.
Page 18. Panel 5. Panel 1. Samantha stands on the dais, just behind and to the left side of Arica. Samantha's hands on Arica's hips as she presents the queen to the court. Rachel and the other women of the court hold hands in a wide circle around the unholy symbol drawn in blood on the floor.
Then, by the power vested in me by our goddess of eternal defilement, I present Queen Arica, who, once again, acts under the magical protections and charms of the Viviax,
Lady of Demons. There we go.
Lady of Demons.
I like it.
Mm.
Hail,
Hail.
Queen Arica, fallen star, avenger of women, divine instrument, and chosen of Viviax. Panel 2, the ritual complete. Samantha adopts a more casual demeanor as she looks to an impassive Arica.
As per the terms of the Infernal Pact, I stand ready to serve my queen. What do you wish?
Let us celebrate in the feast hall.
An orgy? Oh wait, it's not my script. Panel
It's not your
3,
script,
a long table bears many place settings and dishes of exotic meats and fruits. Appearing as we last saw them, Arica and Samantha stand on another dais at the head of the table. Bearing a tray of wine-filled goblets, Emma places one at a place setting. Rachel and the other ladies in waiting observe the proceedings. Edmund, Gretchen, and Thora wear formal clothes dressed for presentation at court. Reminiscent of Henry the Eighth? Yes, 8th. Edmund wears an adorned layered coat, tunic, and short cape that all end just below his codpiece. Where you get the codpiece. He wears hose to accentuate his calves and his feet. Bare shoes with obnoxiously long toes. On the head sits a circlet. Gretchen hides her insecurity in a full-length dress with a tight, modest neckline. Apprehensive, Thora wears a formal corset and gown.
And now we celebrate our returning champions, and so, tell me, who deserves to sit at my side? Shall it be my tournament champion Edmund, who secured the angel's blood from the clutches of the dark fairy magic? I fear it sends a poor message for our queendom to constantly reward a virile man with my pleasures and company. And so I will entertain arguments to the contrary. Tell me, who among you deserves to sit at my side?
Arica's POV. Gretchen flinches as Arica calls for her attention.
Really? Okay. That's a weird casting. Okay.
I like it.
What,
Yeah.
like Edwin, the singer? From
Yeah,
No, Edwin,
it's somebody you don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
You will.
Sorry, that was a Canadian content reference. I think only. Larry
okay.
will know.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Governess Thora, Your Highness. She acted without any magic at greater risk to her life.
Panel 5. Arica's POV. Thora does her best to hide her contempt.
Is that so, Governess?
Gretchen flatters me, but it is Edmund that you favor, and you desire him.
Deserve him.
Deserve him.
It's not
And
your script,
desire.
John.
Page 19, panel 1. In haughty acquiescence, Arica bows slightly and motions for Edmund to take the seat to her at the head of the table. He steps forward in triumph. Standing behind the seat to Arica's left, Samantha gazes sternly at Thora and remains standing with Gretchen.
For the second time today, I must yield to my champion.
Just as this morning, when Emma held you down over this very table so I could have my way with you, all the glory and holes that I receive are only due to the following orders of such a cunning lingual queen as yourself.
Not your script, John.
No, see, the vagina didn't catch a bullet, so I mean, it's like...
Panel 2. Gretchen and Thora remain on guard under Samantha's judgment as Edmund grabs a handful of queen ass as he pulls the swooning nubile woman toward him. I think I might have affected Preston a
So
little
Preston,
bit.
it's John's job to write awkward sexual content. That is not your
Queen
job.
ass, that's great. Oh, man.
That was pretty good. All right. Oh, please, Sir Edmund, what will the court think?
Only slightly less of you when they see how well you perform on your knees, my darling.
Panel 3.
Oh, I got a better casting for Edmund. It's gonna be skinny. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Panel 3. Edmund holds Arica tight to him in firm embrace, but she turns to ponder, fingers stroking her chin.
And what shall
Her
we do
chin,
with
eh?
Thor, my love? Was she as brave as Gretchen claimed?
Panel 4. The power couple of Arica and Edmund ponder the fate of the underlings as Samantha plots in secret.
Brave, in a manner of speaking, I suppose. Why not? Let's just agree. Out of our pity for the poor, weak, magicless Thora, that she was, at least, not a total coward who should be banished from the hall. Away with ye.
Page 20. Panel 1. Eyes full of malice. Edmund pulls out a chair. Well, at least that's what he's pulling out. For Thora, as Arica and Samantha look on in relish. And mayonnaise.
Here, let's have you two girls sit here and talk about all pleasant and nice, and then we can forget about all this bitch calling our queen a whore yesterday and her objecting to a deal that would have not required Gretchen's enslavement before that, or her loss to me at the tournament before that, even with her special magic armor.
Panel 2. Seated at the head of the table, Queen Arica smiles warmly at Edmund as she picks up her goblet. Seated to Arica's left, Samantha hides her mouth behind her goblet as she watches with interest. Also seated at the table, Thora and Gretchen look over the back of their chairs in the middle to Edmund, who remains standing behind them as he castigates them to Arica.
Oh, Jesus. And I think you should probably show your appreciation to the Mrs. Little High Priestess there, who blamed your outburst yesterday on the angel's blood you were carrying. Don't you think so, Gretchen?
All praise be to the High Priestess of Viviax.
Edmund
Panel-
is like wasted. Yeah.
Panel 3. For being in a kingdom that's run by magically powered women,
Yeah.
he really, like...
Yeah.
He's a
I
catty
mean-
bitch and not in the way that's appropriate for this project.
Oh, okay. we have to tone down Edmund. I had a lot of fun.
No.
Differently catty, or he's fitting in better with the concept of the kingdom.
I love it.
Well,
I mean,
I'll comment
we have
on that later.
panels left to finish.
Okay. Let's just keep
Yeah.
going.
I
Okay.
mean, if
Panel
Thora
3,
stands up and
standing over
stabs,
Thora's
All
chair,
right, let's
he
finish
leers
the panel
down
so that we can take
as
Got it.
she reacts without fear.
Well, Thora, it sounds... sorry. It sounds enamorous.
Unanimous.
My mistake. Sorry, I am very drunk right now. You may begin your apology to all of us for your continued. Yeah.
Praise be to High Priestess of Viviax and her ever so cunning queen.
And how cunning is she, Thora?
As you put it, a most cunning linguist. Panel 4. Edmund stands back as Samantha goes to work. Arica ponders her goblet as she listens. Gretchen grows nervous under the scrutiny.
You have no excuse for your behavior this time.
Did Edmund not say that a moment before?
Edmund is our champion. And my lover. And he has witnessed my lingual skills for himself, while you have not. It's wildly inappropriate for you to act this way. I should have stripped you of your station. So,
Uh-oh.
all right, there, that's the end of page 20.
Okay.
All right. So no,
I'm actually
go ahead.
not drunk.
Everyone's got a lot to say here.
Yeah.
No.
No,
You-
actually, I
I'm
don't.
gonna actually.
Okay.
I'm going to counter what Danny was saying. So
Okay.
you kind of do what I do, but in the opposite, because of course. So,
What?
no. I'm
There you
gonna,
go.
okay.
All right.
So I have a tendency that when I write stories, when I write my female characters, usually specific characters. Lolita was one. My female vampire is one. Usually they're characters that appear on the surface to be weak and small, but really they're extremely powerful, and they flaunt it and they act like it a lot. You kind of do and it's supposed to be kind of like a surprise in almost a way, but the character is generally has a power position that on the surface does not appear like they have, and they act like they're in a power position. So, and I think that's kind of like what you're doing here. Like, even though in this world everything is backwards, because of Edmund's relationship to the queen, he is in a power position. He is basically the house slave. He has that over everybody else. So I think the way he's behaving and acting actually works because of the position that he's in through his relationship with Erica and all of that. So I think he can get away with it even in a universe where most men would not be able to do that without being bitch slapped by the superpowered women around. So I think it works, and I don't really have an issue with how he was behaving. It's almost I mean, yeah, he's a catty bitch, but your females are much more cunning and in how they behave. So it's kind of fitting for his character to be the one that's basically stating the obvious in a way, but kind of he's stating what the other characters are thinking. He's saying what Samantha and Erica are both thinking, and it's below their station to say those things. So having him do it, I think, works. But Danny, you can object if you. But that was basically
actually,
what I was.
You convinced me that works. Although I still don't think it's an appropriate setup for a cunnilingus pun.
Okay. That was a spur of the moment.
Have you read this book called Sir Apropos of Nothing?
No.
You should.
Okay.
Then you will have all of the fantasy sex pun stuff you need without ever having to read any Piers Anthony, and it's all wrapped up in an actual story.
Okay.
The only thing I would say about your sex puns is just don't overuse them, because they can get tiresome quickly.
There were like 3.
There were 2. Yeah.
Yeah, like
well, you repeated it though. You used the linguist.
Yeah, Thora referred to it.
Edmund is like drunk. Okay, he's had a lot of alcohol.
He totally.
Yeah,
I'm sure he totally is drunk.
Yeah.
You know,
he's had a lot of alcohol. He's had a lot of poon. He's hyper, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so he's mouthing off a little bit. Yeah,
He's reveling in this moment.
Yeah,
he is,
Yeah.
and he is directing his ire at the same people that the people in power are also directing their ire against. So, and that's really the only reason why he can get away with it. Under any normal circumstance, I don't think they would allow any of this. But it's kind of like,
yeah.
But yeah, that would be my only thing about the sex puns. Like they work, they're fine. I just thought you used the same one like more than once.
He did. It wasn't. Yeah, that needs some work.
Okay.
I'm actually going to
More work, Preston.
just vary them.
Okay.
It's fine, but it's like if somebody uses, tries to use the planet Uranus one more time, I'm gonna. I didn't do that. No, you didn't. But it's like that. It's like it has has been used so many
Okay.
times
Cliche. All
that
right, fair
it is
Yeah.
absolutely a cliche,
Okay.
and
We
I
can
just
find you
groan.
classier sex puns.
Yes.
She. You'd be like,
I know where you
she's.
can find classier sex puns.
Oh no, classic. No, he's fucking wasted. So it'd be like, she blew my skin flute so hard, I realized how good of a player she really was. It's like,
Right.
yeah,
Or we could do that. It's
yeah,
your call.
exactly.
So I'm gonna just say that like I don't actually hate this.
There we go. All right.
But I do have some
Can I use that as a pull quote?
I think you should. Yeah.
Wait, what did he say?
I don't
Danny
actually
Gordon,
hate
I
this.
don't hate this.
I think you should put it on the cover of the book.
I don't hate this. Danny Gordon.
Oh god.
I definitely have some creds.
Okay.
Crit A. Who is
Yeah.
our protagonist in this chapter?
Thora.
Yeah, that's obvious. It's obviously Thora.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes,
No, I'm just
because
kidding.
she didn't die. So, yeah. Well, and we've always suspected it was Thora since the beginning of issue
Well,
1.
she was
It
the
was-
like main
She
character.
was the protagonist of issue
Yeah.
1. I feel like
Yeah.
Gretchen's the protagonist of issue 2.
I don't know, like
Oh.
Gretchen's she kicks
She
the
does all of
Kelpie's
the
ass,
active
but
work.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
all
she's
of it.
yeah. Okay, so yes, if you're asking,
Literally, Edmund is for the second issue in a row strung up by a monster by his foot.
Yep.
No, that was we reread the pages from the time before. That's the same instance where he got shot in the face,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's also strung up by a monster by his foot in issue 1. It's a tree
Is
in
he?
issue 1.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, no, that wasn't by his foot. That was by his neck.
sure.
He-
It's
yeah, thank you.
it's a horse in issue 2. Whatever.
Right.
He likes getting choked, okay?
The
Like-
cool horse is dead now. Boo. Also,
Wait, is the note that Edmund gets defeated too much? I don't understand.
I kind of think it's funny.
it's okay if he gets defeated. It's also okay if it's a running gag that he's always lifted up by his something by something
Right.
else.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a funny running gag. Go
Right.
with that.
Okay.
So, but like Gretchen's of the three of them, Gretchen's the protagonist of this chapter.
Okay.
If Thora is meant to be the protagonist of this chapter, it does not work.
I think she's the protagonist of the entire series.
Yes, and that's fine.
That's what I meant.
And we're developing a relationship amongst equals ultimately, which is totally cool. On the other hand, Thora was obviously taken to a demon dimension and mind controlled. And why
Well,
didn't she
it's
just
obvious to us because we saw it, but I don't think it's obvious necessarily to the.
Well,
to the-
sure, but I mean,
Well,
was she
except
mind
for
controlled
Edmund.
by the evil competitive demon god?
Well, we don't know that. I mean, we don't know.
Well, do you know that?
I do know that. Yes. Yes, she
What?
was. Yes, she is now. She is now switched teams.
Yeah.
Fit-
So, what I was expecting to happen for Thora to, continue her descent into being mind controlled and suffering from the consequences of that would be
Right.
for her to like stab the fucking queen.
I was preparing for violence on like the next page. I just don't know what needs to happen.
Yeah, like Thora needs to be sitting next to the queen as the champion because she's
Yeah.
the woman, and then stab the queen and be like, haha, I was a demon all along. And
There you go.
That's where this is clearly going,
Right.
unless Samantha is planning something, but the art direction never suggested what exactly Samantha is planning, so she's just scaring over a couple on.
Mhm.
So that had some other places it could go, which are compelling. But with like 2 pages left, I don't know which of the ways it's going to go.
It's gonna go on a big cliffhanger.
And we seem to have taken
There
the
you
no, she really is possessed by something else every fucking issue
Yeah.
gag.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to delay it, but
Right.
we've taken away the immediate opportunity for that to be the outcome by not having her be sitting beside the queen.
Well, she is kind of sitting beside the queen. I mean.
But Edmund got to sit in the place of favor,
Oh.
Okay.
right?
I
So
got
if
it.
Thora got to be there, turn around and stab, haha, we ruined everything or whatever, totally lands.
Mhm.
Having that extra step, and having the turnaround be like less obvious is a bad kind of surprise,
Okay.
right?
I got
You
it.
set it up, and then you've got to let it fall the way you set it up. instead of jumping over stuff that you set up to make it fall.
There's another way you could go about doing it.
There's a bunch of ways. There could also be some weird sexual hanky-panky going on.
There could be.
There could be any number of situations we get into, and we can theoretically extend this to 24 pages as well to make it land.
Right.
But I mean, you set up a really cool situation with Edmund, and have been convinced by John about this. With Edmund saying what he's saying, having him come across as being bitter that as a man he doesn't get that position of power lands just as well, given that he also just got laid earlier, so clearly he's not that bitter about it.
Right.
So, and he's been rebelling against the matriarchy the whole time.
Right, and like whenever if you haven't noticed, whenever he gets an opportunity to abuse a woman, he takes full advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
He does. Yes.
Yeah.
He is not a good person, and that's fine. No one's a good person.
Right.
What would have been really interesting is if the demonic ritual read more like a modern Christian wedding ceremony.
All right.
And you have like bits of that at the beginning and at the end.
Okay.
But that would actually bring a lot into the world.
And now like a awkward dance floor, like all right. I don't know.
I mean, you know, the ritual part, anyways, can be that, right? Do you, Queen Arica, pledge to blah 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 for your demon lady Viviax?
Sure. Why a Christian wedding? Why not a Jewish wedding, huh? Mazel tov, huh? Chair dance, yeah. Come on now.
I can interject a thought,
sure.
And that is, so what this issue has clearly done, which more so than issue 1, because I remember we had these conversations at the end of issue 1 and the beginning of issue 2. You know, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and we're like, well, they're all evil. Mm-hmm. At this point, we are now, if we had any doubts before, we know with 100% certainty everybody in this kingdom is evil.
Except
everybody in power will say. The queen, the court, everybody is just downright evil.
Right.
Except Thora is mind controlled. So she's still not necessarily
I'm not talking about Thora or Gretchen. I'm talking about everybody else. I'm talking about the audience. I'm talking about the reader's perception. The reader's perception at this point, toward the end of issue 2, is that they are now firmly aware that everybody's evil. And yes, they want Thora to grab a steak knife and stab Arica in the neck. But she's being mind controlled. Because we know all of these people are evil, we don't really know is she being mind controlled by somebody that's even more evil or less evil or good. We don't know that yet. I think what would make for an interesting story, at least for a character arc for Thora and for Gretchen, is before they act against these people, we start to learn about the other side, and then leave Thora now with a choice. Okay, am I going to side with this evil side? Am I going to side with this evil side? Or am I going to somehow try to find a third option that doesn't exist currently? And am I going to make a third option a possibility?
John, I really like that. And it occurs to me also, if this is secretly Gretchen's story, in addition to the evil people back home, there's now the alternate evil god.
Right, because we don't know anything about Archimedes or his.
I mean, they all seem pretty evil.
Right.
They all seem pretty evil. But I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, so I mean, if Arica goes, it's going to start like a demon war, but that's just going to cause even more chaos, and who knows. And what is one person going to be able to do? But you have the idea of trying to take out both of them, or something like that. They're not two neutral parties that are against each other, or two parties that have some good and some bad. We have two evil sides that are basically going to move on each other and try to declare war on each other, and lots of good ordinary people are potentially going to end up. So it's like, how does you try to what's going to be your solution? And I think that will create a much more compelling story, and that character choice that she now has to go to, because yes, I mean, of course, the demon that's possessing her will say, "Well, kill Erica. That's going to advance my goal," but that's going to also create a lot of chaos. That I think if we delay that a little bit, we even for a story reason, maybe the demon's not ready to kill Erica yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we delay that so that we can then learn more about issue 2. Maybe that's what we spend the next 2 pages building up, is the other side and what their plans are, and that's kind of our cliffhanger. So then in issue 3, we can kind of build some more on the other evil side, and then we're stuck with Thora and Gretchen, because first Thora has to be freed from the demon.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be kind of your issue 3, and then issue 4 can basically be like, okay, so now I'm free of the demon. So which side am I going to choose? And then maybe through issue 4 they're struggling with, what side do I choose? Who's the better one? And then they're like, screw it, they're both evil. Let's just take them both out. And then you do something with that, and which will be the harder choice, obviously, because you have 2 powerful entities with armies and all that kind of stuff, and it's easy to just pick a side. But if they're both equally evil,
I mean, no matter which way you choose, one way to make this politically relevant would be to introduce a concrete external threat to the kingdom.
Okay.
Which does not exist at present.
Right.
So, we've lost all our magic. We can't fight. We can't fight who?
Right.
Who's knocking at the gates? Who's putting everyone under pressure?
Viking Raiders
trying to make good decisions.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody right now.
Hans Doomcock. Yeah.
There we go.
Hans
Doomcock and
the
Knights of Rape Face or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The cod pieces of terror. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Can show up, and they can start wrecking shit. I mean, and I'm genuinely beginning to suspect this is actually a story about Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
And what she does, just again, like Thora had no agency this issue.
Okay.
So
I mean, I think that's fine.
I'm totally fine with that. And like, if this is like a bait and switch, just like, let's make sure that we only bait and switch to one alternate protagonist.
Okay.
I mean, you can always, if Gretchen figures out a way to break the spell, maybe Gretchen goes on her own quest to find a holy shaman
in a palace somewhere, for example.
There you go.
Maybe
like a
bucks off to your own kingdom.
Maybe.
Maybe Gretchen goes on a quest to find a good priest to free Thora, and she meets a nice Prince Charming who's not an asshat. And
you can meet a Princess Charming. It doesn't matter, Preston.
Okay.
But I'm a prince or princess charming of a neighboring good kingdom that we can then connect to and be like,
Okay, there's 2 sides. Yeah, that would be cool.
Kind of like in the early seasons of Game of Thrones, where you had all of these kingdoms vying for the throne, and they were all evil, and we had really just one person at the time before the writers decided they didn't know what to do with her and decided to make her go 180 batshit crazy. But basically, for the first couple seasons, the girl, I'm blanking on her name, she was the one moral, good, just person that we were following, that we wanted her to be on the throne. And all of these other people that were vying for it, some were better than others, but they were all still not as good as her. So, the audience kind of was like leaning toward, we want her on the throne, but all of these other sides are vying for it. I mean, you could do something like that too, where like we meet a third party that we just haven't met yet.
Hey, Preston, if you want to
Yeah.
double down on cunnilingus jokes, you could always have the demon-possessed Thora just start sleeping with the queen.
No, that was certainly a thought, but I
Like,
mean,
you know,
Mm.
in some sort of...
right.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm.
Thor's
I mean,
Thor's
I
kind of
guess
batting
not
for the other
appropriate use of
side
word
right
Zebedee.
now.
How
Yeah.
But
how
well, Thora could try to seduce her and climb up on the table and start,
Yeah,
Never
and then
mind.
maybe it's not about destroying the kingdom quickly; it's about destroying the kingdom slowly, or waiting for that
Um,
external
There you
threat to show
Well,
up.
that's kind of
And
where
then,
Hello, Sam.
that's kind of
hello.
where I was going, was rather than not do it
Yeah.
quickly, do it slowly, so that we have time to learn who the other side is, and it gives our heroes time to figure out an alternative plan that the audience can connect to emotionally. Because if we end up with just two evil sides battling it out, if it comes down to a war between communists and Nazis, we're not on either side, So
coming from orbit is the only way to be sure.
He already did
exactly.
that book, but anyway, yeah.
So,
So,
okay,
but
Preston,
that's kind of my thinking. It's like we
Yeah.
have these two evil, you've got Hitler and Mao. Like, they're both evil. They're like, no, we don't want either of them to win. But if you leave the audience stuck with those two choices, I think they're going to be less emotionally engaged in the battle between the two sides. You want to give them somebody to root for. Yes, we want a character, but we also want to have an outcome that we can see as something that they're rooting for. Otherwise, it's just, well, I'm just a rando here stuck between two sides that's waving the white flag, or I'm over here in Switzerland and while the whole world burns. That's just
it
my
occurs
thought.
to me, actually, one way to defer decision making on this would be to have, mind controlled Thora do something to get closer to the queen or whatever. And then before anything happens, maybe Samantha's about to kill the queen. Who the hell cares? The aforementioned external specific threat appears and interrupts everything before anyone's plans can come to fruition. And then stick everyone into the fire. You've just been prepping some, meat and veggies.
Right.
At this point, right? So it's time to start frying something up.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.
Unless you've got some other direction you want to go. I don't know.
We'll see. But all right. Well, I had fun writing them, so.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I hate it less than you predicted.
There we go. All right. I thought you would like them. But, John and Larry had less faith. What can I say? All right, everybody.
Yeah.
There's a link in the description for Larry Holder's Kickstarter, which we're going to be doing tomorrow. Larry, why don't you tell them how wonderful Primal Chaos is?
It is the most wonderful book you have ever read in your entire life. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
No, it's great though. If you like sort of supernatural action books, sort of in the vein of Spawn, or you like video games like Castlevania or Soul Reaver or stuff like that, you really enjoy it. It's kind of in that vein. It's over the top, actiony.
And what
Lots
if I
of
don't
pretty
like
colors.
either of those?
Too bad. No. I'm just kidding.
Buy it for the man tits.
Exactly. There you go.
And the cod piece.
Exactly.
Gotta have that big cod piece.
Yeah, I'm starting to worry that, like, shit, I don't know if I can kill Edmund because, like, he's really colorful and engaging.
He's also your only male character that we really give a damn about.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if you kill him, definitely kill him off.
Right.
But only when he's outlived his usefulness and the story doesn't need him anymore.
Right.
Or at the end of like issue 4, or the end of issue 5 or something.
Right. Anyway.
I think there's lots of ways we can keep using Edmund without killing him. Just making him be constantly annoying.
There you go.
If you're gonna write a character who's that annoying, why kill them?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, next week we'll have the exciting conclusion to Palace issue 2. Tune in here. Find out what happens to Edmund. Does he live? Does he die? What happens to Arica? Is she dead? Maybe Samantha. What's the big explosion? We'll find out. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take care.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Yeah, they